Welcome, and thanks for joining Orthotics Prosthetics Canada for this meet and greet event to celebrate the inaugural National O&P Day. I'm Jeff Thiessen, a double arm amputee of 45 years, and privileged to be the chair of the first National O&P Day committee. At this moment, I'm not actually on this Zoom call with you. I'm with OPC past president Linda Lasco on Parliament Hill in Ottawa. We are there to support MP Valerie Bradford as she presents a standing order in the House of Commons to recognize National O&P Day. But to begin our time together, I wanted to share a few words about why National O&P Day is important to me, not as a practitioner, but as an end user. And as I've said many times, next to my dad and my adult son, the two most important men in my life are my plastic surgeon, burses and bone spurs, and my prosthetist. You know, the function and independence and stylish socket artwork that I enjoy every day is definitely dependent on the expertise, the creativity, and the empathy of my prosthetist, Marty. And that, for me, is something I always recognize and celebrate. So with that, it's also my privilege to welcome OPC's passionate president, certified prosthetist Scott Hedlund, to share some thoughts with you. Scott.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our celebration of the first ever National Orthotics and Prosthetics Day. I'm Scott Hedlund, president of the board for OPC and a certified prosthetist at Russell Prosthetics in New Westminster, BC. It's an honor to be here with all of you for this occasion on a day that marks a significant milestone for our profession and the patients we serve. Thank you, Jeff, for the warm introduction and for your tremendous efforts in making this event possible. Jeff has been a valued community builder for the Canadian O&P community, and he's played a significant role in making O&P Day a reality. Today, we come together not just to recognize the incredible work being done across our profession, but to celebrate the establishment of a day dedicated to honor the essential contributions of certified orthotists, certified prosthetists, and registered technicians. O&P Day is more than a mark on the calendar. It represents a significant step forward in our shared mission to enhance the quality of life for those facing challenges, such as limb loss and other mobility and functional issues. Having spent over 30 years in this field, I've had the privilege of serving on numerous committees and boards and volunteering with various P&O organizations around the world. And with that experience, I can say that supporting OPC has been a special honor, much like how National O&P Day is a special day. OPC plays a pivotal role in unifying our collective efforts, championing the profound impact our professions have on Canadian communities, and showcasing the meaningful work we do to advance public support and awareness. It's through these efforts that we combat misconceptions and ultimately drive change that leads to better outcomes for our patients. Before we dive into today's agenda, I want to take a moment to express our gratitude to our members, partners, and allies. First, to all our members and partners, thank you for your unwavering support and commitment to advancing our profession. Your dedication has been the backbone of our success and will continue to drive us forward. A special thank you to Valerie Bradford, Member of Parliament, whose advocacy was instrumental in securing federal recognition through Standing Order 31 in the House of Commons. Beyond her work in Parliament, MP Bradford dedicated time this summer to touring orthotic and prosthetic clinics, significantly raising awareness for our cause. Her efforts have truly made a difference, and we are deeply grateful for her continued support. And a big thank you to our allies, community members, and supporters. We are so happy to have you here with us today. Finally, I'd also like to recognize our fantastic lineup of speakers who will be sharing their unique insights and perspectives with us today, as well as the organizing committee who helped us realize this event and this day. O&P Day is a landmark moment for our profession. It symbolizes our progress, the hard work that has brought us here, and the important work that lies ahead. This day is a testament to the impact our professionals have on the lives of Canadians, helping patients gain or regain their mobility and lead active, fulfilling lives. Today, we celebrate how far we've come and look forward with optimism to a future where we can continue making a positive impact for those who rely on our expertise, while fostering a more collaborative network and raising public awareness. This event today is designed to do precisely that, foster a sense of community and collaboration, which is essential as we continue to build partnerships and create a stronger support network for both practitioners and patients across Canada. So as we begin today's event, I'll leave you with this encouragement to spread the word about the importance of O&P Day. By sharing what you learned here today and raising awareness within your communities, you can help make this day even more impactful. Thank you once again for being here, for your dedication, and for your contributions to this important cause.
For the professionals who help us.
I'm so thankful to have you guys' support. You've been there with me every single step of the way.
By listening and collaboration.
Your experience, your knowledge, your support, your patience.
A lot of warmth, responsiveness, just people that genuinely care.
And that's, I think, what's unique about this profession and about this career and about these professionals around us, is that they have to incorporate a lot more than just mechanical stuff, physical stuff. They also have to incorporate a lot of care.
It gave us hope, hope that we had somebody supporting us.
The amount of support and information that I got was, I guess, surprising to me, because I didn't expect them to play those kinds of roles.
For someone who's just starting out on their journey with orthotics or prosthetics, I would say, firstly, keep an open mind.
Trust the professionals around you. Connect with the community if you're ready.
It's a challenge mentally and physically adapting to this.
Still to this day, it's quite the challenge, but it's also mixed with the many beautiful moments and magical moments. And
when I look back on how far we've come, it's kind of incredible to see.
Thank you so very much to all of those who have shared their experiences with us. As an orthotist, there is nothing more impactful than the opportunity to hear directly from those accessing orthotic care. My name is Emma Holmes, and I'm a certified orthotist practicing at Orthopedic Bracing Solutions here in Kitchener, Ontario. And I'm so very pleased to be here with all of you as we celebrate this inaugural Orthotics and Prosthetics Day. Building on the remarks of Board President Scott Hedlund, one of the reasons we're here is to celebrate orthotic professionals, so that together we may raise awareness of the impact certified orthotists and registered orthotic technicians have on the lives of Canadians. By increasing the awareness of our work, we can improve access to bracing, secure better funding, achieve better outcomes for our patients, and promote better quality of life for Canadians. As an orthotist, I have lots of one-on-one time with patients and their families, navigating orthotic care, often referred to as bracing. This includes assessing their needs, getting them up and moving and comfortable in their new orthosis. Be it a cranial orthosis, a spinal brace, a knee brace, a foot orthotic, or anything in between. If you could, please take a moment to complete this poll. Thank you for your responses. I learned that an orthotist was a profession when I was 14 years of age, and it looks like that's about 5 to 10 years earlier than most in this group. But I would venture a guess that that's closer to 40 years before the average Canadian. I was participating in a guided exercise called career cruising at the time to explore my aptitudes, possible career paths. Well, my first match may have been brick mason, I did later match with an orthotist. And that planted the seed for what would be a lifelong love story with this field of healthcare. It wouldn't be until 15 years later, following lots of education, my graduation from George Brown College, and entry into my orthotic residency, that I realized the career of orthotist, this amazing career that allows you to merge innovation with healthcare, whose primary focus is to enhance mobility and improve quality of life, that this profession was in trouble. For no one knew about it, not even my family doctor. How can a profession that almost every Canadian can benefit from in their lifetime be so unknown? Braces or orthoses are often viewed as these simple objects that can be picked off of a shelf or ordered through Amazon. But in the majority of cases, we know this doesn't work. Many of us have cared for the patient who walked into our clinic complaining of knee pain, only to find a knee brace they already had halfway down their leg. Because of the arthritis in their hands, they couldn't don the knee brace they were told to go out and buy. We've listened to the patient who has lost their job because of managing a chronic foot ulcer while using a modified, off-the-shelf foot orthotic at the suggestion of a healthcare provider who felt like custom orthotic care was too expensive. When braces are provided without expert care, assessment, education, and reassessment, we'll see chronic pain persist. Healing from injuries will take longer. Ulcers will get worse. Contractures will worsen. People will stay on disability. They'll stay inside, they'll fall, and they'll require surgery. There are lots of stories like these. Due to the lack of awareness of the expertise of a certified orthotist and registered orthotic technician. We need to raise awareness because patients deserve better outcomes. With the right care, however, a brace can change a person's life. All of the practicing orthotists in this room will have experienced this firsthand. Let me share with you 2 orthotic impact stories that demonstrate the significant effect orthotic care can have. A young boy, just 9 years of age, his feet hurt him so much that for the last 2 years, he never participated in gym class or recess. Fitted with a pair of custom ankle foot orthoses, or AFOs, provided through proper orthotic care, patient involvement, and lots of follow-up, this same young boy, now 10 years of age, has completed his school Terry Fox run. He competed in long jump and tells me he's interested in trying high jump next year. Orthotic care reduced his pain, and in doing so, it allowed him to improve his physical health, expand his perception of what was possible for himself, and build friendships through participation. A 58-year-old woman with a progressive nerve and muscle disease who found herself unable to do many of the things she loved to do, just as she was entering retirement. The first time she walked with her ankle foot orthoses, she cried. And not only did she regain the balance that she needed to do things she loved, like gardening, hiking, traveling to Italy, but certainly most important of all, she finally felt like it was going to be okay for the 2 daughters who received the same genetic diagnosis earlier this year. Orthotic care can provide her with the stability she needs for today and will continue to be there for her and her daughters to support them into tomorrow. Orthotists have a huge impact on the lives of the individuals they treat. This is why we need to continue to demonstrate outside of our clinic walls what it is we do and the impact we have so that healthcare workers will connect Canadians to appropriate orthotic care, and off-the-shelf braces will not be seen as a replacement to expert medical attention. So that we can improve access to quality care for our patients, secure better funding, and ultimately deliver better outcomes that improve the quality of lives of Canadians accessing orthotic care. If you haven't already, I encourage you to share your stories of how an orthosis you use or provided has an impact using the hashtags MyMobilityStory and National OP Day.
Thank you, Emma, and good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today at the first ever National Orthotics Prosthetics Day meet and greet event. My name is Andrew Hoy, and I've been working as a certified prosthetist for 12 years and as a certified orthotist for 3 years. I've also been volunteering with industry organizations for 8 years. I work at the Queen Alexandra Centre in Victoria, BC. Throughout my career, I've had the privilege of working with incredible people and making an impact in ways that truly inspire me every day. I was fortunate to know I was interested in prosthetics from a young age. At age 6, I had my appendix removed, and my brief hospital stay kicked off an interest in all things related to the human body. I was also taking apart and rebuilding things constantly, so when I heard a story about prosthetics on the news in high school, my interest was seriously piqued. Today, I want to take a few minutes to share with you why I love what I do. I want to share a story or two that highlight just how rewarding this journey has been, and hopefully illustrate why I believe the work that we do as orthotic and prosthetic professionals is so meaningful. When I first began working in the field, I was at a clinic in Newfoundland. Many of the people that visited this clinic arrived in wheelchairs, and first thing in the morning, our waiting room was always full of patients waiting to see us and to be fitted. And every patient's story was different. Some were there because of an injury, sometimes a sudden one, others due to illness, and some were born with a condition that made mobility a challenge. But what stood out to me, even more than the diversity of their circumstances, was their shared hope. Each person was there to improve their mobility, whether that meant using a new prosthetic, orthotic, or assistive device in a way that helped them to live their life, often helping with the small moments that so many of us take for granted. By working together with our patients and using our unique combination of technical and medical expertise, we're able to solve each patient's unique problems, ones that presented new and exciting challenges every day. At the end of the day, one of my duties was to collect all of the wheelchairs from the treatment rooms and return them to the waiting area. Those few minutes gave me time to reflect on the fact that each wheelchair being returned represented someone who had been able to walk out of the clinic. The act of returning those wheelchairs was so impactful, visually reflecting how many patients we were helping. Being a wheelchair user is simply one part of someone's mobility story and is not a limitation and can often be empowering. But for many of those patients, the ability to walk again or to stand a little taller was a profound milestone in their story. Seeing those empty chairs symbolized much more than just physical movement. It was a testament to resilience, innovation, and the incredible impact that prosthetics can have in empowering people to live life on their own terms. It's moments like those that remind me why this work is so important. It's not about the tools that we provide, but the lives that we touch. There are countless more stories that I could share about weddings, first hugs, and restored steps, but each of them brings me back to the same conclusion. This is why I love what I do. When my friends play the hypothetical game, "What would you do if you won the lottery?" I say, "I'd keep doing this. I love what I do and I get excited to go to work every day." I'm grateful for the opportunity to work with OPC along with my fellow orthotists, prosthetists, technicians, and our patients. That's why I'm so pleased to be here at the National O&P Day meet and greet to celebrate and share in these moments with all of you. Thank you for being here and for celebrating with us. And now I'm excited to introduce Tyler Turner to share his story.
Hello, and thank you to everyone for participating in Canada's first ever National Orthotics and Prosthetics Day. I wish I could be speaking to you live and attending the festivities at Pentlands Prosthetics in Vancouver, where I know there's a barbecue happening to celebrate this amazing day of recognition, promotion, awareness, and education. But I'm currently on an airplane headed to Chile for our first training camp of the season with the Canadian Para Snowboard team. This is a huge season that we have upon us, as it's World Championships year, which are held every 2 years, and this season World Championships will be held in Canada for the first time in 10 years at Big White Resort outside Kelowna. And of course, with the 2026 Winter Paralympics just around the corner, this season is pivotal to rankings for qualifying. All to say that I am very excited to get this season underway on snow in just a couple days. I'm honored to be asked to speak here because I've been a recipient of both of these devices. Before becoming a bilateral below-the-knee amputee, I was a single below-the-knee amputee with an AFO on my remaining foot for 1.5 years before it was amputated as well. It was short-term, but it was neat to experience the process of an orthotic versus a prosthetic. So how did I end up here, a user of these devices and services? Well, I've always had an impulse for adventure and risk. I love seeing how fast I can go, how high I can get, even from the youngest age. But I like to blame Patrick Swayze for taking it to a more serious level. If anyone here has seen Point Break, they'll understand what I mean. I remember seeing them skydive and surf, thinking, I need to do that. All of high school, I would snowboard, skateboard, rock climb, surf, every moment possible. And I was doing all these sports at a high level, and this brought in some pretty serious risk. I love pushing the limits. But after high school, on a surf trip to Australia, I finally got my chance to try skydiving. I did my first tandem skydive in Byron Bay, Australia, and I was hooked. When I landed, I was very happy and I loved the experience, but unlike the rest of the people on the plane, all I wanted to do was get back up and do it again. Unfortunately, I couldn't due to cost, but it became the #1 goal in my life in my early 20s, to get my solo skydiving license. Eventually, I saved up enough and achieved that license. I continued on to get many coaching ratings, certifications, and this all allowed me to actually call skydiving my job. On September 4th, 2017, I went to work, and on my first jump of the day, while I was doing outside video, which is where I film a person doing their first skydive as a tandem with cameras on my head and chasing them out of the airplane for that outside perspective, I had a very bad crash landing on what is otherwise a routine landing. The standard question I get when I tell this abbreviated story is, did the chute not open? And yes, the parachute opened great. And it was a great skydive where I filmed a nice lady experiencing skydiving for the first time. We had an amazing skydive. Unfortunately, due to being in a coma and having no memory of the landing, I'm not actually sure what mistake was made or the exact reason this accident happened. But what I do know is I hit the ground going extremely fast at a very steep angle, resulting in a long list of life-altering injuries, along with many other what we like to call just standard injuries. That day, my right leg was amputated below the knee almost immediately, and this would begin my relationship with a prosthetist. What a crazy situation that you're immediately thrown into this world that you know nothing about, and you have to pick a person that'll build your limbs for you for the foreseeable future. So laying there in a hospital bed, I went to work researching, networking, reaching out to local amputees on social media to find the best person to build prosthetics for me. Ricky Chu of Pentlands Prosthetics and Randy Kramer from Vancouver Orthopedic Group came highly recommended. So that's who I went with. I only used an AFO for about 6 months before my left leg was amputated, so I only had a couple brief interactions with Randy, but it left a lasting impression, and I'm grateful for the mobility that I gained through that AFO for those months. With Ricky, that was the start of a now 7-year relationship, and right from day one I could tell I was in great hands. And this is exactly that, a relationship. As much as it's professional with Ricky being the expert and me being the client, I feel that to have the best success, it requires a ton of input and feedback from the user, which makes this relationship much more personal. These aren't straightforward generic pieces of equipment that they're creating. This is a human limb. We're discussing the best way to recreate a part of my body. Now, Ricky had made a few prosthetics before I came in, and I'm sure he'd seen this song and dance many times before. Guy walks in, makes huge claims with unattainable goals for a first prosthetic, but Ricky didn't say no. He worked with me. He explained things. He helped to educate me on the process, and I would always leave the clinic with this positive feeling towards the future, knowing that we were working towards the goal in due time. As a new user, it's hard to realize that it's a process. Like most people, I envisioned that I would get this prosthetic and I would get a snowboarding leg, a climbing leg, a swimming leg, a running blade, and I'd be able to use those immediately and do those things. Also, like most people, I quickly realized that this is not how the process works. It takes time, and that's really hard to accept when you just want to go, 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 and you want to go now. That's what I tell most new amputees that get in touch with me now. Time. Give yourself some grace. Practice patience. Let some time go by. Let yourself heal. Because trying to speed up the timeline will only cost you more time in the end. And I'm speaking to all you, the users that, like me, have contributed to our own need to go in for a revision or multiple trips back to the hospital because of just being impatient. As much as I talk about the relationship with our prosthetists while we're sitting there in the office and working with them face to face, I think the coolest part of what a prosthetist does is when they go home for the day, their work doesn't stop. Their work is still at work on my body, 12 plus hours a day, 7 days a week. And what you create affects my life every single day in a positive way. I mean, for the most part. We all know what happens with prosthetics over time, and even when things get bad and stop working, which it'll always happen, you're there to save the day, to get me back on 2 feet again. And it doesn't just have to be my prosthetist. I was at a snowboard camp in Sunshine a couple years ago, and my prosthetics were doing really poorly, and that just happens over time. I had a fit that wasn't fitting so well, and it was going to shut down my snowboard camp. But I made a call to Candace from Coleman Prosthetics in Calgary, Alberta. And I was lucky that she did what she could to fit me in and get me into her clinic, make the adjustments that needed to be made to get me back on snow. And I was back out there a couple days later. It was amazing. It's a community. It's across Canada from ocean to ocean. On this monumental day in Canada, as we christen National Orthotics and Prosthetics Day, and we discuss our gratitude for the people that make it possible to live our lives to the fullest, I want to tell you one more little story. Because without Ricky, I'm not able to accomplish what I have accomplished since becoming a bilateral below-the-knee amputee. And I'm willing to bet that every other amputee in Canada would attribute a large amount of their accomplishments to their prosthetist or orthotist. From becoming the first ever double amputee to fly a wingsuit, which I'm actually going to go do this evening after I film this in real time, to placing second on the Amazing Race, which Ricky made me an amazing pair of legs to make that possible. Unfortunately, he wasn't there to do the crossword puzzle that lost us the race in the end and $250,000. Achieving these goals pales in comparison to my greatest achievement since becoming an amputee, and that's winning Canada's first ever gold medal in para-snowboarding at the 2022 Games in Beijing. Without the support of Ricky and the amazing legs that he built for me, that medal would have never been possible. And to show my gratitude to Ricky and Pentlands, I would like to give him my red leader bib from my gold medal run in Beijing. I hope we can hang this in the clinic to remind everyone when they walk by of how important the work is that you do. I hope this hits home with every prosthetist and orthotist across Canada, the gratitude that we have for you. The success of your client is your success as well. It's a team effort. You are changing lives every day and helping us as a community achieve our goals, no matter how grand or minute they may be. To all orthotists and prosthetists across Canada, thank you for your time and dedication to a truly incredible craft.
Awesome story from Tyler. Tyler's resilience and relentless passion for life are so inspiring, and we are grateful he shared his story with us today. Hello, I'm Alan Blight, and I am the current chairperson of the Partnership and Advocacy Committee for OPC. I'm also a certified orthotist and certified prosthetist working at Hager Orthopedic Clinics in Kelowna, British Columbia. As we bring the National O&P Day meet and greet to a close, I want to take a moment to reflect on the powerful stories we have heard today. As we just heard from our special guest, Tyler Turner, the profound impact that orthotic and prosthetic care can have on someone's life is something special to celebrate. Hearing his story also reminded me of how important collaboration and helpfulness are in our communities. We are an important part of the healthcare team, and we work closely with doctors, nurse practitioners, physiotherapists, occupational therapists, rehab assistants, and caregivers. We also come together as a profession to support each other and assist out-of-town patients in need of emergency repairs and supplies. That spirit of teamwork makes our profession special. And it is also what makes National O&P Day so meaningful as we come together to strengthen these networks. A big thank you to Emma Collins for sharing those touching testimonial videos. The personal stories from individuals who rely on our care highlight just how meaningful our work is and how important the relationship between a patient and practitioner is, and often their families too. I also want to thank these individuals for sharing their stories with us today. For those who want to revisit these powerful moments or share them with others, the full impact videos are available on our YouTube channel. Emma Holmes, your message about the importance of proper certified orthotic care was a crucial reminder that our patients deserve personalized, medically driven solutions and not something they just obtain online or buy off the shelf. Your love story with orthotics and your dedication to this work truly inspire us all. Andrew Hoy, your words were filled with the kind of passion that defines this profession. When you said that you'd still be doing this work even if you won the lottery, you captured the spirit of why we are here. That is a sentiment I know many of us share. And before I go any further, I want to offer a special thank you to Jeff Thiessen, who is currently in Ottawa with Member of Parliament Valerie Bradford. His opening remarks set the tone for today's event, and his leadership and hard work in spearheading this wonderful celebration are what made it all possible. As a certified practitioner myself for many years now, I know how deeply this work touches us all. National O&P Day provides us a moment of reflection on the impact of our work and reminds us that by coming together at events like these and raising awareness, that we can drive greater access to the quality of care our patients need and deserve. As National O&P Day receives federal recognition in the House of Commons, we're proud that this advocacy work is already underway. We thank MP Bradford for her support in this. By recognizing National O&P Day, we are shining a light on our profession and the life-changing care we provide. As we close, I want to encourage each of you to take this momentum forward. Whether you're a clinician, technician, an end user or patient, or a supporter, please continue to share these stories and raise awareness about the importance of orthotic and prosthetic care in your communities. Together, we are creating a stronger, more collaborative support network for certified orthotists, certified prosthetists, and their patients across Canada. Once again, thank you to all our speakers for sharing your passion and experience with us today. Thank you also to Scott Hedlund, certified prosthetist and current OPC president, for his message of encouragement and his dedication. And a big thank you to each of you for being here, celebrating with us, and your continued support to this important cause. We encourage you to visit our website at opcanada.ca, check out and subscribe our YouTube channel, Orthotics Prosthetics Canada, and connect with us using the hashtags MyMobilityStory and O&P Day. Thank you, and celebrate the day.